The fact that Breakup has been tagged on TikTok more than 1 billion times shows just how many people want to talk about or get advice on heartbreak. So maybe it's no surprise that there are breakup coaches, like Erin Kiyomame, who make a living by helping them through the experience. It's a year-old commercial lawyer. Erin Kiyomame is about to learn a lesson in heartbreak that will change her life. She is in a court in the Nigerian city of Lagos, but for once she is not representing a client. She's supporting her friend, Mary, not her real name, whose parents are going through a divorce. Mary's mother, Erin notes, keeps looking over at Mary's father across the aisle. It's not subtle. She is craning her neck to catch his eye. Then, as the judge calls for a short break, Erin watches, frozen, as Mary and her mother cross towards Mary's father. The courtroom is silent, all eyes on the family. Mary and her mother kneel before the father. With their heads bowed, they implore him to not break up the family. But Mary's father raises his chin and with a sneer begins swearing at the women loudly, in front of everyone. It's a 9-year-old Erin is at the playground with her friends when the headmistress walks towards her. It's rare to see the headmistress at playtime. Something is wrong. She informs Erin that her father is waiting at the gates. He is here to collect her. Something has happened. Erin father tells her that they will not be returning home. She is going to stay at her grandmother's home for a few weeks. And as her grandmother's home is miles outside the city, no one will be able to take her to school. She'll get that time off, her father tells her. He and her mother will visit, but for now they have private things to discuss. They need time alone. She's confused, but she can sense that now is not the time for questions. Over the next few weeks, Erin and her siblings are ushered out of rooms in her grandmother's home, and away from earshot of grown-ups, as her mother and father arrive to talk in hushed and urgent whispers with several members of the family. They leave the children with the grandparents every evening, to return home. A home that is in the process of dissolving. Collage of a retro black and white photo of a couple, a split between them. 2 orange suitcases next to them. Erin plays with her cousins and cooks with her grandmother. It's fun having a couple of weeks off school. She's happy. Or at least, she's not unhappy. At that time the family was communal, Erin tells the BBC. I was raised by both sets of grandparents and aunts and uncles. My parents got a lot of help. Her father moves out of the family home and Erin and her siblings move back. Her parents maintain cordial relations with each other and neither parent criticizes the other in front of the children. The family is not broken. It just has one less person sleeping over. I learned that relationships don't always last, Erin says, despite everyone's best intentions. It's tempting to be scathing with each other, but ending things with dignity will serve you better in the future. The rest of her childhood, she insists, is happy. But her next lesson in love is going to hurt. A collage of a woman crying. The tears are stylized in printed blue, a bin with a book of wedding rings, an image of a couple kissing behind her. Erin is and she is at law school. She's into her best friend. They are in the same class. Their shared jokes have those charged moments that ripen into a flirtation, which soon turns, Erin believes, into an exclusive relationship. She tries to compensate in other ways, to be available, loving and spontaneous. One day, she goes to his home to surprise him, only to find the young man kissing another young woman. Give your ex a new name. If his name is Steven, call him Robert while talking about him. It may make you less angry. Follow them on all social media. This is not the time to try and figure out if they are happier without you. She doesn't go to class for 2 weeks. She cries in bed. She's afraid to run into him. She stays indoors. Her friends drop by. They tell her that there are better options waiting for her in the outside world. Then one day, as if by magic, her mood lifts. She feels like venturing out. She has a law degree to complete and friends to party with. She heads out the door and back to life. Those 2 weeks of isolation have done her the world of good. She can even, in time, become friends with him again. Fast forward years, and in the courtroom in Lagos, Erin watches in horror as Mary's father swears at his kneeling wife and daughter. He was throwing words that I can't even recall. I have deleted them from my mind, Erin says, but they were disgusting. Not long before, she had gone through a divorce of her own, but hers had never turned as ugly as the public humiliation she'd just witnessed. She wonders how a woman in her could kneel before a man who clearly mistreats her, and beg him to not leave her. The culture supports a woman being subjugated to her husband, Erin says. If I hadn't noticed it before, I did now. Google says searches for Get Over Breakup have doubled in the past 5 years, and more than tripled since keywordtool.io, an AI-powered tool that measures search terms over several platforms, says Ireland has searched most for how to get over a break up your ex in the last years, and that Nigeria, Singapore, India, Australia, Kenya, the US and the UK are among others in the top. The International Coaching Federation, the industry body for the personal development coaching business, says relationship coaching, which includes breakup coaching, is now worth more than $1 billion per year. Aronke thought back to the people who told her, leaning in as if being helpful, that it had been her focus on her career that led to the breakup of her own marriage. At the time, Aronke told herself to ignore the gossip. But did it sting? Of course, it did. And when her parents' marriage ended, all eyes had turned on her mother, asking what she could have done that would have prevented her husband losing interest. Society was prompting women to stay in unhappy, even abusive, marriages, not giving them a roadmap on how to leave and begin a prosperous and full life. So that day, leaving the courtroom where Mary's mother's marriage would be legally dissolved, Aronke makes a decision. She is going to help people get through the end of their relationships with as much dignity as possible. For the next few years, she immerses herself in studying family law and relationship coaching. Her friends always nicknamed her CC Lawyer, Lady Lawyer. Now they call her CC Lawyer, Breakup Coach. There is no typical day for CC. With over years of a legal career, and more than as an accredited coach, behind her, she wakes up to daily messages on her in her inbox, mostly from women, looking for help in getting over a relationship. She is now part of an emerging subset of relationship coaches called breakup coaches, a trained mentor who says they can help you navigate the grief of the end of a relationship. A breakup coach can help you look back on an inevitable and painful period of life with pride, she says. While a relationship coach may help you become desirable for someone else, a breakup coach helps you become desirable for yourself again. I get messages from people who don't openly follow me on social media, she says, which tells me there is still a shame attached to the end of a relationship. It is tempting to gorge on unhealthy food and mope around, but it won't make you happy. Think about your diet and exercise. Relationships often lead to shared money and resources, so go through your outgoings and make changes if you need to. Aronke charges for 3 sessions. She says she starts by giving her clients a framework on how to get their life back on track. The first 2 weeks are crucial, she says. She encourages her clients to cry, follow or mute their ex on all social media, and task a trusted friend to help stop them reaching for the phone to call him. Your mind will trick you with excuses on why you feel you need to call them, she says. Don't listen to it, it is lying to you. If you need to, hand over your phone to your friend. The loss of a relationship is a heartbreaking and difficult thing to go through, particularly if you've never experienced it before. You don't even need to say anything, just being around friends and family might help. The key things to remember are that you don't need to go through this alone, and that in time your heart will heal. This difficult time will pass, take it minute by minute, hour by hour, and gradually your wounds will start to repair. If his name is Stephen, call him Robert while talking about him. You may be less angry and more objective about Robert. Often money and property are mixed up in relationships, and they need to be separated. It's messy and people need help with that. Cece says she does get criticism online from people saying, "Of course this lady wants to break up families, she is a divorced woman." It doesn't bother her, she says. She has a partner, but it wouldn't affect her even if she was single. Either way, I am happy, she says, and isn't that the point? There is light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes losing a relationship is a wake-up call to learn how to build better relationships going forward. The love coaching industry is growing every year, thanks partly to rising number of 30-something women in search of a partner. Coaches often promise they'll ensure clients find a man, when there can never be any guarantee. But sometimes it seems they do succeed in making single people happier.